What's going on, guys? It is Killer Drone and welcome back to another Anthem video. In today's video, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be covering PvP, and I actually brought on Anthem Central onto our channel, and we are going to debate back and forth whether Anthem should introduce a PvP mode into the game. We are both on complete opposite ends of the spectrum, but I think it ended up being a pretty good conversation. But before we get into that, I just want to remind you guys that we are doing a giveaway for Anthem here on the channel. You guys can follow the link in the description down below. We are giving away 2 copies, and that ends on February 13th. But anyway, guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into the video. All right, ladies and gents, we are now joined here by Anthem Central. What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? How you all doing?
I'm doing pretty good, dude. So, guys, first and foremost, if you guys have not checked out Anthem Central already, go check out his channel. Link is going to be in the description down below. But you have posed a very good question to me today. Should Anthem have PvP? And
definitely a question. Definitely a big one.
It's a big question, and it's something that I have strong feelings about one way, and you have strong feelings about another way. So
for sure,
I'm interested. I want to see where this conversation goes. We're going to do this more podcast style, not as informational as I normally do here on this channel. And I don't think that you do anything like this on your channel either. You mostly stick to information as well, don't you?
I might have to do a video like this someday on my channel, but maybe another one with you, because this is pretty entertaining, man. It sounds good.
All right, so should Anthem have PvP? I say no, it should not. You say yes. So I want to hear your case first about why you think it should have PvP.
The reason why I think Anthem should have PvP, at least from my personal experiences, is that gaming in 2019 is nothing like it was back in 1989, 1999, or even 2009. Because with the rise of Twitch and Fortnite and stuff, and I know it's a horrible example, how dare you mention Fortnite, it's such a common thing, but it's one of the biggest video games of all time. Literally one of the biggest games of all time. And I think people need to acknowledge that and take a look at what its success actually is. And Fortnite as a single player save the world game was not that successful. It was good, but it was not that successful. The thing that really pushed it over the edge was the Battle Royale mode. Now, why did that happen? The reason, at least in my eyes, is because, for one, it was supported by streamers on Twitch, YouTube, and just about everywhere. And two, it was fundamentally competitive and wonderfully crafted. In a game like Destiny, as much as I have issues with it, and I think the PvP needs some work, regardless, man, when you watch people streaming Destiny, a lot of the times they're either streaming the strikes or the PvP. You don't see a lot of people just streaming missions. And I think that's pretty important to know. And for me, at least, that's why I think Anthem needs PvP.
So basically, your position is you think that it needs PvP so that it can be a part of the mainstream.
Yeah, and to have longevity, to have long-lasting support. That's the reason why a game like Ghost Recon Wildlands died, because they added the Ghost War PvP like a year and a half after the game came out, which was devastating to its potential. And if you look at a game like The Division or Rainbow Six Siege, you got a little bit more success on your hands than they did with Wildlands.
Well, Division and Destiny, which are both looter shooter categories, both have, I guess Destiny and Division both have some type of PvP in them now, but they were at their core looter shooters, and they still have plenty of longevity. Their core stayed around, and they're still playing this game to this day. I guess I see your argument, though, because at the same time, would people still be playing, at least for Division? I know that Destiny could totally do without their PvP aspect. I think that Destiny's PvE is solid. It's
okay. It's kind of recycled. It feels kind of recycled.
Oh, it most definitely is, but that's how Destiny has always been.
Especially for the high expectations from Bungie as well. But if you go look on Twitch, literally every single person is streaming some form of PvP. And I think that with the 8,000 concurrent viewers right now on Twitch, you'd have probably around 2,000 to 3,000 if it was only single player.
See, I'm not one of those people that think that single-player games are dead, though. I think that by forcing multiplayer into a game, at least in this way, but I say forcing multiplayer, forcing PvP into a game. Forcing multiplayer is fine. Like if you have the group aspect like they have here, I think that that's fine. Another issue that you're going to have with this though is if you insert PvP into this game, balancing is going to be a nightmare unless you do everybody as just a ranger.
I disagree.
How would you balance it?
Okay, so I think one thing that I wanted to cover with people, a couple things. First off, I do think, I know a lot of people are saying this, I think streaming, I think you'd probably agree with this, Drone. Do you think that stream viewership and stuff is a good metric to judge a game's success? Because I personally do. Most people think not, but I personally do. Even if it doesn't translate to direct sales, I think it does. Would you agree with that?
I do not believe that. The only reason that I say that is because as somebody who used to stream single player games all the time, there are a lot of people in small communities for these single player games.
Communities.
I'm sorry, what?
Small. You say, well, you mentioned it yourself. Small communities.
They are small communities. But whenever the game first releases, you'll see that with anything. When a game first releases, there's a lot of hype behind it. All single player games, like when Red Dead first released, it was huge on Twitch. It was number 1, 2, something like that. Probably not 1. League has always been up there, but it always has this huge amount of hype. And then as people finish the game, then it loses that hype. So I would say that all of your competitive games are at the top of Twitch, but I would not say that that is a good metric for the success of a game. I think that the measure of success of a game is, did you enjoy playing the game and would the community come back to the game?
I agree to some extent, but to me, at least, there's no reason to deliberately shoot yourself in the foot when you knowingly can try to add a solid PvP. Now, you asked me how would I balance it? Quite simply, and I think the biggest thing is leaving it just separate from PvE, which it kind of would be by default, because just like any multiplayer, I feel like it can be balanced like any multiplayer.
It would have to be separate from PvE. There's no way that you could have PvP in this world. There's no way.
If you take an ability out, like in my opinion, like so what? Like, you just pretend it didn't exist at all. Again, there's like 40 abilities here. Like, pretend you just didn't see it. Like, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. In the end, these abilities aren't that important. They're just ways of playing the game and shooting AI bots. That's cool and all, but they're not really that critical that every single one of these needs to be implemented in its traditional manner. And I think that people are saying, oh man, then PvE is going to get messed up if you add multiplayer. I vehemently disagree.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I think that you probably could do a PvP type of game in this, but I don't know that it's right for this game. It's kind of like we've already seen this type of PvP in a way. The exosuits that Call of Duty did is essentially what this would end up being. It would have to be some type of exosuit shoot 'em up, right? I mean, you would have to strip down the gear and I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, I agree with you there. And I think this game at its core is built for PvP. The problem is, I think there's a lot of other stuff that's clouding it for more sort of single player fluff, which is fine. That's totally fine doing PvE fluff, such as these crazy abilities that, would definitely not be tolerable in a PvP environment. But if you came up with something ultra competitive that also had some casual fun as well, a normal free for all or team deathmatch, whatever, but if you managed to get a really good competitive metric where you had people making full videos breaking down, I'm talking ridiculously breaking down what assault systems to use, which javelin to use for which map, which designs, which guns, if you had people breaking stuff down like that to a science like they do with Fortnite, I think this game could explode. And I think that risk is worth taking.
Well, Fortnite has a huge upper hand on that, though. Fortnite has a building mode and things like that. That's what makes Fortnite unique. This game, like I said, I think we've already seen this. Call of Duty has done exactly that.
I think the Javelins makes this game quite unique because it's like Halo on steroids. And Halo, was very successful for a while. This is like a new, crazier Halo to me. And again, it's not about it being original or even competing with Fortnite per se, but it's not something that might be able to hold its own in a competitive scene and could possibly last for years if it is updated well. And I think you might get people, if you even made like a free-to-play PvP mode, hello, this is the new metric nowadays, guys. If you made a free-to-play PvP mode, dude, I think you might take everybody and just, you know, send everyone for a shock. You might be expecting a very wonderful surprise, seeing this game blow itself out and literally blow up, which I think is, again, a worth it risk to me.
Okay, what kind of PvP modes would you like to see? Because I can think of some that would work, like if you did team versus, like a team deathmatch where you had a team where, let's say compare it to something like Overwatch, where you have different heroes, a ranger hero, colossus hero, storm, and do it something like that. I think that could work. But if we're going to go the whole battle royale route, I think that balance is going to be an issue.
I agree. I don't think Battle Royale is overly the solution. You could try it. Might be fun. Maybe if you make it even more bare bones, or make it even to where every character is walking, literally without even using any flying abilities, given, you know, standard guns and classes and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I just think these guys are seasoned enough at this. They know what they're doing. And literally just throw me in there, man. Throw you in there or someone else. You know, even you guys in the comments on Kilodrone's channel. I'm sure there are people here who could come up with something wonderful. And I think that's just worth investing into instead of just totally ignoring it with the excuse, the blanket kind of statement of, you know, this will ruin the exquisite PvE balance because, you know, I need my storm blast to destroy 20 AI bots instead of 19 AI bots. You get what I'm saying? It's just the PvE balance thing is in the, well, you know, it's not going to get enough support for PvE. I just don't think that's a solid argument because PvE is PvE. They've already made a nice story. That's all they need. They could add to it periodically, but I think they should start on a brand new avenue, which could totally pump up this game.
Okay. You've kind of convinced me that a PvP could be possible. I still don't know that. I still think that we have a ton of PvP games out there right now. Breaking into that market's going to be hard. This could
be a better one. But this could be a better one, man. I truly believe it.
You think that this could be something better than Call of Duty, Overwatch, things like that?
No, but it could definitely hold its own with the likes of Rainbow Six Siege, Destiny, even Battlefield or something along those lines. Again, not saying they're similar in any way, but this game, there's so much to explore here, man. And again, that's what I want you guys to type in the comments here of Kilodrone's videos. Gotta bring up that comment interaction, folks. Let us know, of course, do you guys think this is something they should invest into? Is it a worth it risk?
I think that you actually have me convinced that a PvP would be very interesting, at least if you just do like 4v4 team deathmatch. That could be interesting. I don't know how they would balance it still because some
might do something crazy. It doesn't matter. But would it not be worth it getting a PvE mode that at the moment is, you know, 89-90% of full capacity? I would say that's already solid. They could release no future updates, just like games have for the past 30 years. They could release no updates now, and it seems like this PvE is already on a good you know, stepping stone. Regardless, it seems like this PvE is sitting in a good spot as it is. So
well, another thing that people are going to be worried about is if you introduce a PvP mode, right, and PvP just absolutely blows out of the water, then are they going to do like Fortnite did and abandon their PvE mode? Because that's exactly what Fortnite did. They literally took an axe to save the world and have butchered it.
Possibly, but if you have a game that's such a titan, I think people will be more involved in the whole PvP culture of it and learning the competitive and stuff. And
I think that the mainstream will be more involved in that. I don't think that the looter shooter community wants to be a part of the mainstream. Maybe not.
PvP. And that's more of a niche. But if you want to see a game's real success in the mainstream, you've got to have some type of, I think, some type of PvP nowadays. And if you look at like, what if Red Dead had PvP, man? Oh my God, it would be destroying on Twitch. People would be encouraged to buy it, especially if it was a free-to-play PvP. Forget about it, man. And again, to me at least, isn't it worth it?
Well, they have the Red Dead Online right now that, from what I understand, was a dumpster fire. So
probably not that good.
Yeah, from what I understand, that was a really big dumpster fire. But I think again, that's one of those games that I don't know how that would do in PvP. But
I think as we get closer to the end of the video, guys, I think it's something just to ask you all in the comments. And this is the biggest rhetorical question, although you can answer it, of course. It's not all rhetorical. But my thing is, do you guys think, at least, you know, obviously I think, you know, me and Joan here probably differ on this one spot. Do you guys believe that possibly having a single player, well, it's not single player, a PvE campaign kind of thing. Do you guys believe that possibly running the risk of having a complete, mildly updated, not for 3 years on end, obviously, but a mildly updated PvE mode with the possibility of an unbelievable PvE mode that is groundbreaking in just about every way, and I do believe they could do it with the mechanics, the way this game is naturally built, I believe has the possibility to be one of the most groundbreaking PvP games ever. I genuinely believe that. Do you guys not believe that that is worth the risk of having a mildly updated, really solid, full of content PvE mode, but something that might not be supported 2 or 3 years down the line? That's the question I wanted to pose as we wrap things up here.
My answer to that question would be, I would rather have a looter shooter that I can play with my friends instead of against my friends. That's kind of the way that I play video games, though. I used to be in a competitive space where I used to compete in little small tournaments for Call of Duty, and that's behind me now. I don't want to do that. I like playing against AI. I like enjoying the looter shooter franchise with Destiny and The Division and games like that. So I don't know. I feel like we have two different types of people here, really. I understand where you're coming from as somebody who I used to play Call of Duty. Like, I used to compete in Call of Duty Ghost and games like that. So I understand the want for that to be in the game, but I'm worried. As somebody who I saw what happened to Fortnite, I actually covered Fortnite Save the World before it was ever even released. And then I covered Fortnite Save the World once it was released and for like the 2 months that it was popular. And then once the Battle Royale came out, it crushed Save the World. It absolutely destroyed it. And it was something that a lot of it was basically the looter shooter community that was playing that. They really, kind of fell away from the game, and it really broke up their core base community that they had there. But I don't know. I think that this is a question that we need to pass off to the audience at this point, because I don't know that we can make any more arguments on either side. And one way I see that a PvP would definitely be beneficial and something that we might want to look into in the future. But in another way, I would rather them just continue to build on the PvE, on the looter shooter aspect of the game. So anyway, guys, that is going to be it for us today. I do hope that you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave likes on the video, and be sure to go and check out Anthem Central channel. His link will be in the description down below as well.
Thank you, guys.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add, buddy?
Just one thing, guys, in the comments, guys, please be respectful. In the end, we all want to see the game succeed. And again, we're coming from different angles. Me and Killadrone coming from two completely opposites in the realm of gaming and whatnot. So I do think it's something interesting. Please be respectful in the comments, guys. Just because someone wants or doesn't want PvP, of course, doesn't mean they want the game to fail. In the end, it's just different points of view and different metrics for success. In the end, it's just different points of view, and that's what I want to get across. Thank you, guys. Love you.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for us today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. You guys have a great day.